Iran, also called Persia, is a very old country in the Middle East. It has been important for thousands of years, even before Rome was founded, then after many invasions and wars. This story will show how Persia became so powerful and special among other great nations. Long, long ago, people lived in the area of modern-day Iran. They built some of the first farming villages around 7200 BC in the Zagros Mountains. These early people grew plants like barley and lentils. We even found a 7,000-year-old jar of wine. The culture here was closely connected to Mesopotamia, which is modern-day Iraq. One of the first cities, Uruk, helped create the city of Susa. Susa became the main city of Elam, the first real nation in what would become Persia. Susa was a very important place for trade for over 5,500 years. Elam was not a modern country, but more like a group of different tribes living in the mountains. People from Mesopotamia called them Elamites, but they probably called themselves those of the high country. This idea of mountain people was very important for Persians. It was different from the plain people to the west in Mesopotamia. These two groups often fought. The mountains were not good for the kind of big farms that used a lot of water in the plains.
So the mountain people often moved with their animals and had small farms in the valleys. This made them tougher than the farmers of the plains. In many ways, the conflict between Iran and Iraq in the 1980s was a part of a 6,000-year fight between the mountain people and the plain people. We do not know much about the daily life of the Elamites because their writing, which started around 3200 BC, is still a mystery. Their language is now extinct and different from others nearby. However, experts are working hard to decipher it, so we may learn more soon. Elamite art often showed animals like dogs and bulls. This was unlike their neighbors, who often showed people or part human, part animal figures. Their religion honored nature and a mother goddess, with rituals in special places like sacred groves. This religion was also very tolerant, accepting the gods of other people. Some of their ideas later helped shape Zoroastrianism, another important religion in Persia. Elamites also greatly respected women. Their art shows queens as equal to kings. This respect for women would continue in later Persian societies. Elam was often invaded by stronger neighbors from the plains, who had more people due to their advanced farming methods. Elam even lost the first recorded war in history to the Sumerians around 2700 BC. But Elam was tough. It rose again, becoming powerful around 1100 BC. It traded with far-off lands like the Indus Valley, showing its reach.
As time passed, new groups like the Iranian people came. They were nomads from the north. Slowly, their cultures mixed with the Elamites, creating a strong new foundation for the future empire that would stand for thousands of years. The first great king. After the early Elamite times, a new power rose. Cyrus the Great was a vassal under the Medes, a strong group of Iranian people. In 553 BC, Cyrus decided to rebel. One of the Medes' top generals, Harpagus, was sent to fight Cyrus, but Harpagus joined Cyrus instead. Harpagus became one of Cyrus's trusted leaders, helping him overthrow the Medes. Cyrus the Great quickly united the Iranian people. He built the Achaemenid Empire, which grew immensely. By 539 BC, he had conquered the great city of Babylon. He also moved into India, taking its western parts.
Cyrus created a strong administration to manage his vast lands. He put governors, called satraps, in charge of different regions. To make sure they did a good job, he used a network of spies. These spies reported directly to him, ensuring fair rule and preventing corruption. The empire had 4 capitals, showing respect for local cultures. Susa, an old Elamite city, was the main center for government. Cyrus also set up a fast and revolutionary postal system. Riders, called couriers, could travel quickly across the empire. They found fresh food, water, and horses ready for them every 2 days along their routes. This system helped to keep the huge empire connected.
Later empires used a similar system for centuries. Cyrus was known for his remarkably tolerant rule. He respected the religions and cultures of the people he conquered. When he took Babylon, he allowed the Israelites who were enslaved there to return home. For this act, he is praised in their ancient religious texts, seen as a liberator. Thomas Jefferson, an important figure in American history, later studied Cyrus's ideas about good leadership, finding inspiration for his nation's principles. Cyrus also created the Immortals, an elite group of 10,000 highly skilled soldiers. Cyrus's son, Cambyses II, continued to expand the empire. He conquered Phoenicia, Cyprus, Egypt, and parts of modern-day Syria. The Achaemenid Empire became the largest empire the world had seen, bringing stability to many lands. Later, Darius I, another great Persian ruler, took the throne. His empire reached as far as the Indus Valley. Darius is remembered for the first Persian invasion of Greece. In 492 BC, his army faced bad luck. A severe storm sank many of his ships. His troops were not enough, and the invasion failed at a place called Marathon in 490 BC. Darius planned a second, much bigger invasion, but he died in 486 BC. This left the difficult task to his son, Xerxes. As the Persian Empire grew to such vast size, an unavoidable clash with the fiercely independent Greek city-states was looming on the horizon, promising a massive future conflict. A Greek hero comes. A new, powerful leader came from Greece. His name was Alexander the Great. He was a young king from Macedon, a Greek kingdom on the northern edge of the Greek world. His teacher was the famous Aristotle, a very smart man. Alexander was not only a strong soldier, but also a clever general, commanding an army since he was 16 years old. He had a great dream, to conquer the large Persian Empire. In 334 BCE, Alexander led his army into Persia. His army had about 50,000 men. The Persian army, led by King Darius III, was much larger, perhaps twice the size of Alexander's forces. Many people thought the Persians would easily win. The two armies first met at the Battle of Issus in 333 BCE. The Persian army was strong and ready to fight, but King Darius showed great cowardice. When Alexander's forces attacked hard, Darius ran away from the battle. His soldiers saw their king flee. This made the Persian army lose their will to fight and crumble quickly. It was a shocking defeat, the first time a Persian army under its emperor was defeated. 2 years later, they fought again at the Battle of Gaugamela. Again, Darius III commanded a larger army and was on favorable land. But once more, he fled first, even before a clear winner could be decided. The Persian Empire could not recover after this. Alexander's brilliant fighting skills and Darius's surprising lack of courage brought an end to the ancient Persian Empire. Alexander's army then marched to Persepolis, a magnificent Persian capital city. In 330 BCE, They pillaged the city for several days. A great fire started in the palace and burned down most of the imperial capital. Alexander reportedly regretted it later, but it was too late. Alexander began to show a complex respect for Persian ways. He treated Darius's captured family well and even married one of Darius's daughters to connect with the Persian royal family. He tried to blend Greek and Persian cultures, but his own Greek soldiers did not always like this new direction. Alexander continued his conquests, pushing his armies as far as India, but his soldiers grew tired of fighting and wanted to go home. He returned to Persia, but his time as a conqueror was coming to an end. Suddenly, in 323 BCE, Alexander died in Babylon. He was very young, only 32 years old. Nobody knows exactly why he died. Some historians believe it was a fever caught in a nearby swamp. Others thought he might have been poisoned. His death was a sudden mystery. Before he died, his generals reportedly asked who should rule the vast empire he had created. Alexander supposedly replied, "To the strongest." This answer created huge problems. With the conqueror suddenly dead at a young age, who would step up to claim the largest empire the world had ever seen? Many would fight for succession to control Alexander's massive new realm. 4. The fight against Rome. The story now moves to a new period in Persia's long history. After Alexander the Great, a group called the Parthians rose to power in what is now Iran. They were nomadic people from Central Asia who settled in the region. They were known for their strong army. A special feature of their rule was an aristocratic voting system. This meant noble families could vote to remove a king if he was not good. This helped make their country stable and prevented many civil wars. The Parthians were also very good archers. They used a famous trick called the Parthian shot. This was when a soldier on horseback would pretend to run away, then turn and shoot arrows backward at their enemies. This made them a lethal force on the battlefield. The Parthian Empire often fought against the mighty Roman Empire. They bravely stopped Rome from growing further east. One famous Roman general, Crassus, lost his life fighting the Parthians, suffering a terrible defeat. During this time, a secret military cult called Mithraism became popular in the Roman army. It was inspired by old Persian beliefs and the god Mithra. Many Roman soldiers liked Mithraism, and it almost became as important as Christianity in the Roman Empire before Christianity became dominant.
Later, a new and powerful group, the Sassanid Empire, took power from the Parthians. This empire brought back more Iranian culture and made Zoroastrianism the main state religion. The Sassanids were very strong and became a big enemy of the Byzantine Empire. This was the Eastern Roman Empire. They fought many long wars, sometimes for decades. These wars were battles of attrition, slowly wearing down both sides and costing many lives. But these long wars greatly weakened the Sassanid Empire. A terrible disease also swept through the land and killed many people. After their king was killed, a brutal civil war broke out, lasting several years. Just as this internal fight ended, a new, unforeseen force gathered quickly in the southern deserts. This new power was ready to change Persia forever, in a way no one could have imagined. 5. A new religion. The powerful Sasanian Empire had ruled for over 400 years. It was a strong force, but long wars with the Byzantine Empire had made it weak. A terrible disease and attacks from Turkish tribes also caused problems. Then a civil war started. Many people fought to be king. After this, the empire was very tired. Suddenly, a new force appeared from the southern deserts, the Arab Muslims. Their first attack on Mesopotamia was pushed back, but a second attack in 636 AD took much land from the Sasanians. By 642 AD, another large attack began. In less than 10 years, this old, strong empire fell completely. The Persians tried to fight back, but more Arab soldiers came, and the resistance was crushed. The new rulers brought a new religion, Islam. They burned many old Zoroastrian religious texts. People were often forced to become Muslim. Those who did not convert had to pay a heavy tax called jizya. It took many centuries for Islam to become the main religion in Persia, yet Persian culture did not disappear. Instead, it slowly started to shape the new Islamic world. The first Islamic empire, the Umayyad Caliphate, was led by Arabs, but it used many Persian ways of running the government and their court customs. The caliphate grew very large, from Central Asia to Spain. Because it was so big, it started to break into smaller parts. Also, there was a split among Muslims about who should lead after the Prophet Muhammad. This created two main groups, Shia and Sunni. Later, the Abbasid Caliphate replaced the Umayyads. This new rule was formed with help from a Persian general. The Abbasids missed Persian culture and ways of administration even more with Arab rule. They built a new city, Baghdad, in 762 AD. Baghdad became a great center for learning. Scholars there studied and copied texts from Persia, Greece, and Rome. Persians played a vital role in this time, known as the Islamic Golden Age. They were not erased from history. Instead, they became important doctors, scientists, and engineers. They made big steps in subjects like algebra and astronomy.
Persian literature also became very popular, with stories like 1001 Nights. Even though Persia was conquered, its resilient culture continued to thrive and influence the wider Islamic world. After the Arab-Muslim conquest, a new era began for Persia. It became part of the vast Islamic caliphates. During this time, the Abbasid Caliphate, with its capital in the city of Baghdad, grew into a remarkable center of learning and culture. Persian intellectuals played a vital role in this period, often called the Islamic Golden Age. This was a spectacular time for science and knowledge. Scholars studied and preserved ancient texts from Persia, Greece, and Rome. They made immense progress in many areas. For instance, they developed new ideas in medicine, philosophy, and astronomy. Mathematics saw the invention of algebra, a new way to solve problems. Chemistry and physics also advanced greatly. People exchanged valuable ideas with cultures from across Eurasia, including Europe, India, and China. Important discoveries like the number 0, the sextant for navigation, and even gunpowder spread through these connections. Many minorities, such as Zoroastrians, Christians, and Jews, contributed their talents as doctors, scientists, and engineers, helping this age of learning to shine brightly. This period also produced famous literature, like the stories of 1001 Nights, which included characters such as Aladdin and Sinbad. However, this bright period did not last forever. In the 13th century, a terrible change came. The Mongol horde rode in from the Eurasian steppes. Their invasion was different from others because of its immense scale and great cruelty. They pillaged and destroyed many lands and cities across the region.
In 1258, they attacked Baghdad, which was a central hub for intellectual life. The destruction was apocalyptic. Libraries filled with countless ancient books and scholarly works were burned. Mosques and other grand buildings were ruined, and civilians were slaughtered. This event is widely seen as the abrupt and brutal end of the Islamic Golden Age. The Mongols also destroyed many qanats, which were underground water systems vital for farming and supporting large cities. Without these complex irrigation channels, many once fertile areas became uninhabitable. Later, in the late 14th century, another brutal conqueror, Timur the Lame, brought even more death and destruction. Known for his military campaigns and extreme cruelty, he demanded that cities surrender completely. If they refused, he would kill or enslave everyone, including the elderly, women, and children. Millions of people died during his widespread campaigns, and entire cities were reduced to rubble.
With magnificent cities now just ashes and millions dead, Persia was left fractured and devastated. Its long-standing unity was shattered, and its future seemed uncertain. Could the resilient Persian spirit find a way to come together and rebuild again after such terrible times? 7. The Age of Guns and Trade. After the terrible destruction by the Mongols, a powerful new empire appeared in Persia. This was the Safavid Empire, led by Shah Ismail. Ismail came from a family with many different backgrounds, including Turkoman, Kurdish, Greek, and Georgian. This mix of cultures helped him unite the land. The Safavid Empire brought back familiar borders, controlling Iran, the Caucasus region, parts of Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, and Mesopotamia. The Safavids, along with the Ottoman and Mughal empires, became known as the Islamic gunpowder empires. They were strong because they learned to use new weapons like cannons and muskets. Shah Ismail also made Shia Islam the main religion in Iran. This was a very important change that made Iranian culture unique in the Muslim world. Shah Ismail used religious mysticism to bring his people together. Later, under Shah Abbas I, the empire grew even stronger. Shah Abbas modernized his army. He used ideas and tactics from the British military, with help from experts like Sir Robert Shirley. This made the Safavid army very effective, especially against their biggest enemy, the Ottoman Empire.
The Safavids even made friends with European powers, such as the Austrian Habsburgs, to help fight the Ottomans. The Safavid Empire became a rich trading center. They sold famous Persian carpets, silk, and other textiles to Europe. European companies, like the Dutch East India Company, came to trade with them. The capital city, Isfahan, grew into a beautiful place with many grand mosques and buildings that are still admired today. It was also a hub for learning and culture. For most people, life in Safavid Persia was as good as in many parts of Europe at the time. However, after Shah Abbas I, some rulers were not as strong. They cared more about luxury, like wine and entertainment, than about governing. This made the empire weaker. Neighboring powers began to look at Persia with new ambition. The Russian Empire, which was getting stronger under Peter the Great, took some land in the Caucasus. Regions in Afghanistan and Pakistan also rebelled against Persian rule. The Ottoman Empire took more Iranian land.
At one point, a treaty even divided parts of Iranian territory between Russia and the Ottomans. Persia's autonomy was once again under threat from outside forces. 8. The world today. In modern times, Persia saw the dynasties of Qajar and Pahlavi. The Qajar rulers came to power in 1796. During this time, powerful colonial nations like Russia and Britain tried to control Iran.
Iran lost land to Russia, and its leaders allowed foreign influence. The discovery of oil in 1908 brought challenges. Foreign countries wanted this new wealth, making Iran lose its autonomy. In 1907, Britain and Russia even divided Iran into zones of control, ignoring local wishes. Later, in 1921, Reza Khan started the Pahlavi dynasty. He worked to modernize Iran, building infrastructure. But his government was authoritarian, using strict control and secret police. He also pushed for a secular Iran, separate from religious rules. Many, especially devout Muslims, disliked these sudden Western-style changes. The country's oil wealth became a major conflict. In the 1950s, elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh nationalized the oil industry from British control. But the USA and UK helped remove him in a 1953 coup. Western companies managed Iran's oil for years. In 1973, the Shah took back full control, using earnings to modernize the military. Growing anger against the Shah's oppressive rule and foreign influence led to the explosive 1979 Islamic Revolution. Iran became an Islamic republic, a government based on religious law. It quickly cut ties with Western countries.
Soon after, Iraq, led by Saddam Hussein, attacked Iran in 1980. This long war saw Iraq supported by many world powers. Today, Iran faces sanctions from Western nations due to its nuclear program. Regionally, it holds influence in Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. It is also building closer ties with China and Russia, joining international groups such as BRICS. Persian civilization has a remarkable and enduring history. It has survived thousands of years of changes, always finding ways to re-emerge. Its ancient legacy profoundly shapes the modern world today. What do you think is the most fascinating era in Persian history, and how do you see its ancient legacy influencing the modern world today? Leave a comment below.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.